long ways to go.
Good evening. Monday, September 19th, 2022. This is a budget hearing required to be held separately from a city council meeting. This is a hearing only and not a meeting. A presentation will outline the key provisions of the proposed budget statement, including but not limited to a comparison with prior year's budget is required. City Administrator Vasicek is here, and so is Finance Director Lindsley for our help in these discussions. Tara, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you. As your memos state in the attached, the budget that we have discussed a number of times over the last few months is, I don't know why this is so
Try
fuzzy.
Looks like
function
Japanese.
F11. Try that and see if that does something.
Do we need to have a roll call?
No, Japanese.
Thank you.
Did that work any better? No.
Nothing
You
I
want
can
us to
read.
try to show
I don't
it?
know why it's doing that.
That'd be funny.
So what are you on the,
It's still bad.
it isn't good.
Sorry.
You need a translator.
I don't know that I have. have
I
it
mean,
on
I can
ours.
see it, but you can't.
Let's just see if we can see ours.
Yeah, we get it.
I wonder,
Get it to the other.
no, it's not a touch screen. That's a little better
Oh,
there.
Not Japanese.
There we go.
Okay.
That's better.
Well, the budget, as I stated, is the same as we've talked about at several committee of the wholes. A number of things that we discussed, some major projects we'll be wrapping up this next fiscal year that we've started, have had over a number of years. The total budget from our present fiscal year to our new fiscal year are very, very similar. In fact, it's a reduction of just a couple $100 in our total budget number. So this year we are at a total of $126,562,743. So that includes about $6.3 million of property tax revenue. The capital for this coming budget year is just over 43 million. Last year it was 45. We had some really, really big projects last year, where we spent a little bit more, and we'll be wrapping them up this year. There is detailed information if anybody wants to see, if you click on that link within the memo. There's really the total. I can go over that spreadsheet again. Some major things we did that I think will be substantial for staff and operation over the next fiscal year is that we were able to add a number of new positions, and we're also going to give a raise to the city employees of 8%. So that it amounted to a pretty significant amount for the budget, but is a great benefit that we're able to offer, especially in a very difficult employment atmosphere. We certainly don't want to lose any employees over, things as simple as wages. Let's see here. We've got, I gave this presentation last time. We will upload this. It sounds like there's maybe a couple corrections that we need to make to one of the graphs that Brent caught. So we will do that, and then we'll upload this to the city's website. So if anybody approaches you about the budget, I would encourage you to send them to the website, and they can get all these pretty simple, easy to understand details about the city's budget, because it is a lot to understand if you're not, in it all the time. So we've wrapped up a number of things this fiscal year, but also started some pretty significant projects. Moving forward, the assessed valuation increased about 6.5%. And again, those assessed values are not set by the City of Columbus. They are set by Platte County Assessor. Platte County Assessor, excuse me. You can see overall, compared to other communities, our levy is on the lower end of I think this is valuable for individuals. the county assessor, I gave you all a heads up a few weeks ago about a new state law that changed this last session about postcards that have to get sent out and maximum increases and all those things. So those postcards have started going out. People will start receiving those, and it will say, that the city is going over our percent maximum. And that's really for a couple reasons, and that's because the valuation is growing very quickly. And again, we don't set the valuation. Our levy is staying the same. So therefore, if your levy stays the same and the value goes up, then you're going to surpass that maximum that the state set in that new legislation. So there will be a hearing on the 26th at CMS at Columbus Middle School, and City of Columbus and the public school system will be the two that have to present at that meeting. So we'll give a presentation similar to this.
Some of those postcards arrived today.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew that.
Started getting calls about that. I think we'll probably get, more people than we get here, but also hopefully an opportunity for the city to kind of tell this story that's in front of you right here. For every $100 a property tax payer pays in Columbus, about $16 comes to the city. And about $65 of it goes to the public school system. Both provide, critical quality of life things that we need in a city. So, but we're pretty proud of the services, and I think we all are proud of the services we offer and are able to provide for that levy. As we always discuss, our sales tax is very strong, and we budget very conservatively when it comes to sales tax. We use it all for capital improvement. We just got final numbers in for this year, and it was 9.4 million. So to wrap up the full fiscal year this year. General fund revenue, you can see here how it's divided up, and then the total, we added that. The general fund operating expense. Again, this is not a comparison to last year, but is really substantially similar to last year's budget numbers on the operating side. Enterprise funds, as you all know, we operate multiple independent operations that are not tax supported. And then just looking forward to next fiscal year, we've got finishing the community building, finishing Charlie Lewis Station, the final phase 2 of the fiber project, so we're able to do Wi-Fi at a number of city facilities. Some master park planning, both at Girard and Pawnee, to include Memorial Stadium. The senior center entryway, radio communications amongst all of our public safety departments, so JCC, fire, and police will all be involved in that conversation, as well as Platte County and emergency management. We've all engaged in that conversation already. We'll be continuing the work on school and ped crossings next year. Lost Creek Parkway sanitary sewer and water extensions will start here very soon, the sewer part of it, and then we'll do the water shortly after that. The BRIC grant we got from FEMA, and that's for building resilient infrastructure in cities, and that is a product of the 2019 flood. So we got $250,000 to do some flood resiliency planning. So that will be underway, and that's about a 2.5 year process to get through that. So we'll talk about that a number of times over the next couple years. Infrastructure expansion, which kind of a broken record here, but over the last few years, we have invested a significant amount of money into infrastructure in Columbus because we're growing, and it takes a huge outlay in front of growth in order to sustain those growth numbers. So lots of good projects. The biggest starting next year would be the highway project, the reconstruction. So we're still waiting final details from NDOT on where they'll start, east or west. So as soon as we know more, we will assist NDOT in getting that information out to the public, just as quickly as we can. We have started, we're about done with the guidelines and the public information that we'll be sending out about the facade grants that we're doing as part of the Highway 30 project. We included that in the pooled TIF. So hopefully that will be something positive we can talk about while Highway 30 is under construction, but hopefully a lot of property owners get excited about that, and we can see some private property improvements as well as the improvements to the right-of-way. The budget, does anybody have any questions about the budget? We've really talked about it a lot up to this point, and John?
When you have a projected figure for the sales tax in 23 of 88.5 million, and I think you know that that's awfully conservative, but do you actually budget the numbers based on 8.5 million, or is it something more?
No, we actually budget for 8.5, and then we plan to use some of the sales tax reserves as well. So in the capital improvement plan, we're planning to spend about $10.8 million of sales tax. 8.5 of that in the budget is new money, and the balance is reserve money that we have banked over previous fiscal years.
Okay. What do we got in reserves?
Sales tax cash, I can pull up the city council meeting and tell you exactly.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
I'm sure
it's
you
okay.
weren't prepared for that.
No, it's
Heather might know.
Let's
Heather
see here.
knows.
1/2 cent, 1 cent sales tax. Well, what's that? Yeah. So the one here, I'll highlight it for you. You probably can't see this actually. Ugh. So 9.8 for the sales tax. That's the 1% sales tax, and then the 1/2 cent sales tax, which again is fire, police, library, cultural arts, 5.4.
I apologize for asking that question.
No, don't. It was easy information to find. I just wish this would stop highlighting
That's
this.
a reserve?
Yep, those are cash balances.
And obviously, based on the answer, if we have higher revenue incomes,
Then
then
we don't use as
we don't
much of the
use
reserves.
as much as the reserve.
Exactly.
Great.
Tara, I have a question.
Sure.
Employees are getting an 8% raise, but how much are their medical premiums going up?
The premiums on the health insurance plan, so the city of Columbus, and we can talk about this at city council meeting as well, because it's on the agenda tonight. But this city is self-funded with our health insurance plan. Last year, we approved adding 2 more plans, because before that, we only had 1 plan, and it was the grandfathered plan. So it was an old model. So we added 2 high deductible plans, one that was high enough to allow an HSA. So this year, the grandfathered plan, which the majority of city employees are on the grandfathered plan, it is the $500 deductible. It's the very rich plan. It is that what we get the most utilization on. It costs the city the most amount of money for people on the grandfathered plan. And then the other 2 plans don't, because they're high deductible plans. Generally, people that got on those in the first year are people that have low utilization, right? They don't use the health insurance all that much. That's why they're okay with a high deductible plan. So they don't cost the city much of anything. So the total increase for the city and our max out of pocket is around 14% for next fiscal year. So what we did, instead of 14% across the board, because A, we have a nice reserve in the health insurance fund, and B, the grandfathered plan is considerably more expensive to the city to offer, is we took a recommendation to the employee health committee with a recommendation of a 10% adjustment to the grandfathered plan and a 5% adjustment to the 2 high deductible plans. And they approved that and recommended approval of that to the city council. So that is the answer. But you also have to remember that the 8% on your total wages is significantly more money than a 10% adjustment on a premium, a couple $100 premium, right? So that's at the end of the day, they're still experiencing a significant cost of living positive adjustment.
Did anybody look into the light program that the,
Yeah, we have looked into that, and we'll honestly probably give it a little bit of time before we make the jump to that, but we will look at it more. We're in the middle of a Unico contract as well, so periodically we bid health insurance and who we work with. So we'll take a harder look at that.
one of those meetings? Yeah, I did too. It sounded very good to me. I mean, and I think it's something we definitely need to
Yeah.
look at, if nothing else, see what it's about, especially for our people.
Yes, absolutely. It is for the employees. It would be a significant change over the grandfathered plan, though.
For those who don't,
Not for a positive.
and for
yeah.
those who don't know what was being referred to, it's a program sponsored and offered through the league.
The League of Municipalities.
League, yes, and it's done by Blue Cross Blue Shield. And Mutual of Omaha got the sideline, the glasses, the dentist, all that stuff too.
Right. So we will take a closer look at it, but it would be a significant change for a majority of city employees on benefit, a reduction in benefits for them. So we would have to weigh
Yeah.
all of that.
Plattsmouth changed it over, and their employees really thought it was great. I mean, that was
Yep.
that was the only one that I heard of in our meeting that had it done. So
We will definitely continue to look at it. Any other
Thank you.
questions? Yep.
No, thank you.
Related to the budget, any questions?
I like your graphs.
Yep. You're welcome. Thanks, Heather, for putting those together.
Take a picture of each of those and carry it with me.
Yes.
keep them in your pocket. That's what we need. We need a little card so we whip them out.
Little flip cards, yeah, on a spiral ring.
Frequently asked questions. Well,
Motion for the public hearing to be closed.
I think you should keep it open for a little, that would be my recommendation, is to
Okay.
keep it open for a little while.
Anybody could come
I
in.
see, oh, anybody could come in, yeah.
shows up.
Gotcha, okay.
Are there any other comments or questions regarding our open meeting? Don't everybody speak at once. Seeing none, I will close our open meeting.
We can have a motion to close it.
Oh, you need a motion to close it? All right, can I have a motion to close our meeting, please?
I second it.
We have a motion and a second to close the meeting. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay.
No, I can't.
How about a voice, since some are not?
I'm on the next meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
I'm serious. How about a voice count?
Yeah, aye.
Oh, if, oh, I just did it.
She did it for.
You did it. Motion passes, meeting closed.